Hey everyone, what's going on? So I'm going to do an update on the Intense 951 bike, what my impressions are. First thing we need to do is actually measure how much tire width you get or how much clearance there is on the back end, because I had mentioned that I had promised a few of you that I would follow up and we would get a measurement going on. So let's do that. We're at 0 on these calipers and we're going to measure this out, see how much clearance we have. And we're about at 3.8 inches, or I mean it's approximation, and switch it over about ballpark 78.3 millimeters of clearance. This is a Vittoria Mezcal 2.35 wide tire, same with the front as well. I've done a few changes. It ruined the playfulness of this bike 100%. You know, like, I just want people to know there's a big difference between having a playful bike and having a lightweight racy bike. Like, I would say my Cannondale FSI and my Zascar, they're light bikes, and they're really playful. But I remember why I didn't like these particular wheels on my Zascar Carbon Pro over there. It's because these wheels are so F-word stiff that it just, I hated them. Like, I mean, it's on a hardtail. They made a hardtail feel like a bone shaker. Like, they're exceptionally stiff wheels. That's great, but oh my lord, I didn't think that on a full suspension like this that has VPP JS tuned, I would be encountering those issues, and so like, it's bad, but it's still ruined the playfulness. Like, these FSA gradients that are boost wheel set, they run the FSA hubs. You know, the dishing on here is really deep, is a pretty deep dish. Like, if you compare to my thumb, you know, it's like half the length of a thumb, or my thumb length. These spokes are short, so like from here to down to the hub is like supposed to be equal to a 27.5 wheel without dishing like this. So then, because you have such shorter spokes, you can have much more direct power to your wheel or your drivetrain, and you can have stiffness, and I don't doubt that at all. The only unfortunate part is this tire wheel combination really made this bike less playful. So I can't get it. Cannot get. It's fast rolling. It's definitely a faster feeling bike, but it ruined the aggressive playfulness of it. So if you're going to get a lighter wheel set, honestly, like, I have to say this, consider some Spinergies. I'm dead serious. Like, this is the next, that's what's gonna happen on this bike event, on this bike eventually. I'm gonna get some Spinergy MXX 30s, because I love these wheels. See, they're carbon. These are the PBO fiber spokes. You know, PBO fiber, there's like thousands of fibers within one spoke. Super compliant. I don't know if you can tell, but like, they're like, you know, it's like, are they like bird spokes? Well, they're, you know, they're similar, but definitely different. But you get such a super, I think because I've been on these wheels on my hardtail, on both my hardtails, it's still a light wheel. It's going to be definitely about roughly 100 200 plus grams heavier than the FSA gradients, but and you know, these are Hadley hubs, by the way. So Hadley makes the hubs for Spinergy, and they sound nice. They've always been like a nice sounding wheel set. Look at, listen to that. That's nice, and they're easy to maintain. Oh, FSA gradient wheels are just a entire pain in the ass to work with. One of my friends had destroyed his internals, like it blew up in there because of the pawls. I don't think you're gonna get that out of Spinergy. Is how they're built. And then they've got this. I don't know if you can see it here. Never mind. Let me see if I can show you here. So then you have this system here on your back, on your rear wheel, and it creates a maintenance issue. So there's a little bit of play, and I've got to get that. There's a little bit of slop in there, so I got to take care of that. I thought making this a lightweight bike would be cool. I actually kind of regret it. So, but because I put an like decent amount of time, and I was like, maybe I'll give it a chance and it'll grow. This was a good idea. Yeah, it's a fast rolling bike, but you just compare the Kendas are a more aggressive, even they're narrower tire. The knobs, they're a lot, you can get pretty aggressive on them. In all terrain, like even when it was like kind of muddy, like it's still a great tire. These are decent tires. In the dry, these are definitely fantastic, but like it was kind of disappointing. I've ruined the playfulness of this bike. Another thing I've done, I'm going to do is I'm going to change out these brakes. These are perfectly fine brakes for the most part, but if you're going to be doing long descents and pushing this bike quite a bit, or you're going to be doing races and you're on courses where you're going to be on the brake pretty frequently, the fade, there is noticeable fade in here, and and I realized that these brakes don't stop as well as the Maguras. They do when both of these bikes are running quote unquote cold. They're great, but as heat starts building up, you're putting some braking action into these TRPs, Slate 4s. The fade's starting to be noticeable. I still think they're better, way better than SRAM guides, but because they're still mostly a pretty quiet brake. But after competing both on my bike with Maguras, MT5s, or actually I was on another bike that I don't compete on with Magura 4-piston MT5s. Still, like when I hopped on this bike, I realized how much force I had to put on my lever, or how much I had to really apply the brake to get the same comparable braking action. It was kind of funny because I thought, oh, these are great stoppers, and they are for the most part. A lot of people don't care about like exceptional bite, like on and on. Like if I was a trials guy with a guy, or as a guy with some trials background, like I just love that on-off superpower, like it's gonna just throw your teeth out. But it's just not. These are great brakes. I think once I need to change out, I'm near changing out the pads. I'm gonna swap them out because this is internally routed down here, and I'm gonna sell them for pretty cheap. So if anybody is on YouTube watching this and you live in the US and you want some TRP brakes that are obviously kind of used, I will sell them cheap, as long as you pay for shipping as well. So just my ad out there. I'm gonna have to cut this and then drain it so there isn't oil leaking all over your package or something, and then remove the pads so I don't get whatever. Like we'll work out something. But anyway, and if you're in Seattle, I will sell them to you super cheap, then because I don't have to deal with shipping. So I'm gonna replace these with Magura MT5s or MT7s. I have a spare set of MT5s, but I'm not. I think these levers are cooler, but I don't want to sugar, or I don't know what the hell you would call these, because these are not Shimano, so you can't sugar them. But I think I just have to accept that I'd have to use Magura MT5 levers, the stock ones, the 2-finger ones. But I would get better. I have to remind myself the braking action is way better and consistent. I really enjoy them, like even because I was racing on these in wet, kind of moist conditions, and I was like, oh, these really are not that great compared to Maguras anyway. So that's the other thing. Then I replaced the grips. I only did this to be different because I knew this is going to be a popular bike. So I changed these out. I'm definitely going to swap these out for some P&W. I think they're called Loam or Range, something like that. P&W Components make some grips in what they call XL, so it's a little thicker of padding. And I have those on my Cannondale, and they're just absolutely super fantastic. I didn't think I would love another kind of grip, but other than the Race Face South Nelsons, but they won me over. The ODIs are still good. I just don't want to have the same grips everybody else who has this bike has. Then that's the only reason. As dumb as that is, you know, I just didn't want to have. I just like having a slightly different bike than other people. But that is it. This bike reweighed came out to oddly more than the website says, So put it on my friend's scale. It came out to like 29 pounds, but it doesn't. But my LTS sensor is 29 pounds, but the LTS sensor feels way heavier. So I don't know. Because when I was at the shop, it was like 27. So I put on lighter wheels, but I didn't put in a push core, and really nothing else. But that's the weight's somewhere under 30. And then here I'm going to change out the water ball cage. I'm going to try out a different one. So I didn't realize this. When you're doing cross-country racing and you're just trying to quickly pull the water bottle, take a sip of water, put it back. When you're casually riding, it's not that big of a deal because you have all the time in the world. But when you're competing, you have you're having to bend down pretty good, I've realized. And you're kind of hurting too because you're really pushing. I had my water ball fall out of this because it didn't secure really well, because I hit this technical part and I had to just you know, make sure I had control. So I had to put you know, obviously take my hands off and put them back on a handlebar to deal with it. But then my water ball fell out and I had to stop, pick it up. But I'm gonna try ones that will hold the water ball, but it's not like death grip secure, and just see how I get along with it. Great water ball cage, but man, pulling out a water ball, putting it back in when you're racing and you don't want to put too much effort into doing simple stuff like this, I want something like a little more less of a bear. But yeah, that is it. I think the other part I will say, you know, which is why I have my hardtail out, is I think this is a great bike, but it won't be my primary racing bike, cross-country racing bike. Like if you know, because I live in the Pacific Northwest, like we do a lot of climbing. So where the GT or even my Cannondale shine as bikes is, you know, they're great for ascending. Like if I know my bike race is going to be, let's say it's a 12-15 miler, but we're going to be doing 12 to 1500 feet of climbing, I'm picking this or my Cannondale for my races. Like especially if the climbs make up the majority of the course, you know, but if it's like here I did a race and the hills were just short, like it was just all up front, and it was a pain. But this bike did pretty well. I don't know if I don't, but it was also really bumpy and stuff, so I preferred to have a bike with a rear suspension so I could just sit and grind away at excuse me, the you know, as I'm racing. So excuse me, I think between this and my hardtails, this is going to be the bike for more chunky, rougher courses, and for bike races where it just has such a bear of a climb. Like, you know, if I'm doing climbs where I'm going to be doing ascents excuse me, if I'm at a bike race where I'm doing I'm on a hill and my climbing's going to be in the 10 to 15 minute range per, you know, like for just one climb out of the whole lap, I'm gonna be taking my hardtail, like hands down. So that's it. I think that's the difference between the two bikes. I ruined the playfulness by making this bike lighter. Like one of my friends thinks, it's like, how come it's not as fun? It's like, dude, it's stiff. This bike is stiffer than hell. It's not remotely fun. Faster bike, yes. More fun bike, hell no. But that's it. If you have any other comments or questions, or you're like, hey, I want to put a light wheel set, I'll probably point you to Spinergies. But you know, oh my god, it's getting windy. But yeah, feel free to ask me anything about this bike. Even if you're watching this a few months after I put the publication date on here or whatever, the release date of this video, I'm more than happy to answer it. A lot of you know I reply pretty quick, so because I don't have that many subscribers. Anyway, that's fine. I'm not telling you to subscribe. I'm not even telling you to like. But that is my opinion on this bike. A few weeks into competing in XC events and riding it. Let me know what you guys or you folks think, and or whatever. and I'll get back to I'll chat with you later. All right, so see you then. Bye.